So now we're going to have a conversation with Liam. He's an artist manager and creative director. I'm not going to give you the full download because he's going to come do it himself. So Liam, come join us, please. Give it up for Liam.
And that...
Yeah. You like that one?
What's up, Liam? How you doing, man?
Oh, best day of my life. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
I'm cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. So, you know, I know from meeting you with Sue and also from Lauren's description that, you know, you are a powerhouse at what you do. And that really lives in two worlds, which is artist management and creative director. So will you just tell us briefly a little bit about how you came to be in this current role?
I mean, it was mostly by accident. I thought I was going to be working in sports all my life. I was a sports media major at Oklahoma State, and I was working with our football and basketball teams. COVID year came around, and then my internship became a volunteer basis situation where I was getting paid, but because the budget's getting cut, I couldn't get paid anymore. And sports is all weekends and holidays because that's when people can go to see them. And I was like, I don't even think that's what I want to do for my life. And if I'm going to be doing it for free, then time to look for something else. And so I just shot emails to all my favorite artists. I had been the social media guy for Oklahoma State, so I could identify where people were lacking as far as like engagement goes. So I was just emailing my favorite artists and saying where I thought they were struggling, because I like music a lot more than I like sports. And then randomly, I got a call 2 months later from Toby Nwigwe's manager, and he was one of my favorite artists at the time. He was just blowing up, and he was like, I get a lot of emails about people trying to do stuff for us. Few people tell us we're doing something wrong. Tell me what you mean. And I got to consult for them, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So ever since then, I've just kept pursuing it. A marketing agency picked me up because I found Toby before he was a big deal, and they were like, come do that for us, and been doing it ever since.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Toby, he's an amazing artist out of Houston, Texas, and he has been able to cross culture outside of just music and also onto the television screen, specifically Netflix with the show Mo. And I have yet to watch it yet, but my girlfriend tells me amazing things.
It does rock.
Yeah, and I've got to encounter Mo a few times, and he's really an amazing comedian and powerhouse, obviously, of a writer and show producer as well. But Toby's amazing because, you know, not only is he like a lyricist, he's also like a fashion icon. He works with Pharrell. He did a co-branding with Adidas recently. I don't own anything mint green, but I want something mint green now. So, you know, that's amazing. And I really love that your discovery of the music space and where you found your puzzle piece to fit kind of happened by accident in some ways, but also was driven by your passion and love of music, being a fan of music, right?
Genuinely, it was just, as far as if I got to do a job in general, I don't want to, but it might as well be something that I'm interested in and would do anyways.
Right.
And sports and music are pretty much the only two things where that works.
It's the same passion that artists have. We're the same, bro. You know, having the urge to create and make things and put them out, even though you're like, shit, am I going to get paid for this? I don't know, but I got to do it. But what I think is really, you know, smart in terms of you pivoting is you took the skill set that you established at your university, you saw where artists could succeed with that type of format, and you stepped into that role and really made it your own and helped to lift these artists. My question for you is, out of all the projects and artists that you've currently worked with, what do you think has been like quintessentially your favorite project or something that was really important to you?
Easily the album Am I Good Enough by an artist named JB from Oklahoma City. I'm from Oklahoma, and I only really like hip-hop's my primary genre. I'm expanding. I'm getting better. But with hip-hop specifically in Oklahoma City, it like when you tell people that you work in the Oklahoma City underground hip-hop scene, they look at you crazy. They're like, what do you mean that exists? And it does exist, but it's got its challenges. Like, there's so many things about being a hip-hop artist in Oklahoma City that's like, the odds are so stacked against you. it's nobody's doing music stuff, nobody's investing in music stuff in Oklahoma City. That everybody who has the money to do that got their money from oil, and
Right.
hearing that the ROI on music stuff isn't quite what you're going to get when you're investing in natural resources, they're not interested.
I would say there's a big difference. Yeah.
And if they are, they're going to go invest in red dirt country because that's what's going on up there.
Right.
And JB is, if you're unfamiliar, which I don't know how you can be, he's like the Oklahoma rapper. Like, he's been at it for like 15, 20 years now, maybe. He worked a lot with Merce, if you know Merce from LA.
Yep, absolutely.
And it was like, this is our first project that JB had released where he was doing it fully independently. I didn't know him. The thing with Toby had just fizzled out because he got too much going on with Apple and the NBA
Right.
Finals. And so I just Googled Oklahoma rappers. I found JB, emailed him, and then he said, come meet me for coffee in Oklahoma City. And I was like, that's crazy. I have little to no experience, and you're going to talk to me? That's wild. And we sat down, and in that meeting, we came up with the whole concept for his album, where it was called Am I Good Enough? 4 different projects, Am I Good and Enough, all produced by 4 different producers: Conductor Williams, Derek Minor, Havoc from Mobb Deep, and
Wow.
Blue
Wow.
from LA.
Yeah.
And like, all of those are some of my favorite artists. Michael Christmas was featured on there. I love Michael Christmas. It was like I was a kid in a candy store, like, this is crazy. And it's in Oklahoma. This doesn't happen. And we got to do the whole rollout of that, and it came out probably like the week after I moved here.
Okay.
But I stayed working on it through the whole rollout, and still to this day, it's like the best songs he's ever made. It's an Oklahoma product.
Right.
It's probably the best hip hop album that maybe has ever come out of Oklahoma, and like, I could die happy knowing that I worked on that one. Like, I don't need to hit anything else as long as.
I love that, man. You already got the trophy, and honestly, I can see it because you're wearing the glow of it.
Yeah.
Right? I can see how excited you are about it. And you know, having your hand in that project, if it's 4 records, that concept, you know, that's not a simple thing to do. And then finding different producers to follow through with all of these projects is not a simple thing to do. So, you know, first of all, I just want to give you your flowers and applaud you on that. And, you know, I also want to say that any artist that is really pursuing and trying to find ways to elevate, there are a lack of tools and resources, right? So I don't know how many artists are here specifically, but if somebody is passionate and they're really driven, and they come to that artist and say, hey man, I don't have a ton of experience, but I really, really love what you do, and I think I can add value, I don't know any artist that would turn that away at any level. And to be honest, there's not enough people like you that come to the table and help support artists that way. So thank you for that. Speaking to that project, you know, in terms of artist management, creative direction, this is a question I want to ask you, and I've seen and heard some debate online about it, but in your opinion, what are the maybe 3 most important things about branding for an artist? What are the 3 things that they have to nail down no matter what?
First off, the biggest one, no matter what, is there's got to be a mission and intention behind what the album is. Like, there's 100,000-ish songs coming out a day or something like that.
Right.
I'm not listening to most of them. And the ones that I am listening to are the ones where it's like an interesting thing. Like, there's something to get into that's beyond just, this is a cool song. And with JB, he was like, we were in the process of campaigning to get a guy off of death row in Oklahoma for a crime he didn't commit.
Whoa.
That was, all of that story was being told through the whole album. And we were successful in our efforts by the end of it.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
yeah, round of applause for that.
but like, he was talking about stuff that was genuinely happening in the community, which in hip hop a lot of times it's like, don't preach at me like that, but he was able to pull it off in a way where it didn't feel like preachy, but he was also the whole time talking about issues in Oklahoma,
Right.
Talking about like specific streets, landmarks in Oklahoma City that only you know from Oklahoma City,
Right.
And it was just like so obvious. You could pick any song from that whole album and know where he's from, what he's about, and just like pretty much everything you need to know about him as a person comes from that. And then on the more shallow stuff, just a really, really solid and well put together brand identity.
Okay.
Where it's like, from the colors, it's the same through the whole way.
Okay.
From the artwork, even if we're on a second album, I kind of want the album to be somewhat in the same style as the first one, because maybe you only got them for the first album and they don't remember you, they just remember that they liked a couple songs off that album. But if the new cover art is reminiscent of the previous stuff, you got to give them as many things as you can so that they remember you, because they're not necessarily going to remember your name, they're going to remember the song that came up in their playlist.
I love that. That's important. That's important.
But yeah, I would say,
And then
what's your mission?
One more mission.
Give me full, solid brand concept.
Yep, love that.
And then third, drop like crazy. That's it. Like if
consistent.
I don't care if you have the first two. If you're only dropping like one album a year, specifically in hip hop, it's the hardest genre to be successful in because the barrier of entry is so easy. I can go get a YouTube beat right now, rap on it, and put it out tomorrow.
Tight beat.
Yeah. So it's so oversaturated that the only way that you're going to remain in front of people is if you're dropping all the time. And so any artist I work with, it's like, we're not starting until you have like 3 albums for this year.
Right. That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, it's true. You know, you have to have consistency. There are, you know, I think it's over 100,000 songs a day that are being loaded on Spotify. And then if you were to just couple that, I'm going to get back on my soapbox, with AI music that's being released at an infinite amount, you know, it's just a lot of noise that you have to cut through. And I think those 3 points that you brought up are very important for people to identify and have land posts to see who they're really interested in and how to continue following up with them and learning more. And that the cause that the first album was based on is huge, man. Like, that's amazing because it transfers from just this sonic world and this world building from JB to an actual tangible movement and something happening that is real. I love that. I think that's awesome. So speaking from that same view, what is just one mistake that you see that's very common that artists make with their branding? What's like non-negotiable, you shouldn't do this, but you just see it all the time?
I mean, I'm kind of going through this right now a little bit with an artist I'm working with, and it tends to be like a thing that people air towards when they're first releasing something. Like, we're releasing this guy's debut album right now, and his whole thing is he wants it to look exactly like what you would get from a major label. And he wants it to be packaged, and he wants everything to look like what the best would put out.
Right.
And while it's great to put out the best product that you possibly can, at the same time, a fan like me, I'm not making my judgments based off of only what I like. But if it's an artist's first album and they're fully independent, I don't want it to look like a major label release. Like, it's going to make it so much more authentic and like something that I feel like I'm a part of and I'm building.
Right.
If it feels like we're in on this too, and you're not coming at me with like the label. We're not trying to make our label page look like Def Jam.
Right.
We're trying to make it like nobody interacts with a label page in general. So how do we make a label page interesting? Like, that's what I'm interested in.
Right.
Even if it's completely different than what a major label like is known to be posting consistently. Like, you don't have to look like what the biggest people in the world look like or even close to it, because you not is going to be the thing that's endearing to a new fan. Like, it's something to support and watch grow rather than just wasting all your time trying to be a perfectionist and never putting anything out.
Yeah, and yeah, I second that, and it's a way to differentiate yourself from everybody else. There's really not a lot of upside to being homogenous and being in line with what the trend is or what labels are doing, etc. From a lot of different viewpoints, but specifically aesthetic, you know.
And whatever the industry standard is right now is probably like an outdated thing
dead.
from 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's already done. There's already something new coming. And I think if you're doing something as crazy as art or music and you're already on that front line, you might as well roll the dice. You might as well really lean into your vision and create something as original and unique as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So I second you on that, man. I just have a few more questions for you, and then we're going to have Lauren come up here momentarily as well. Let me just see which one I think is the most important. I'll ask you 2 more questions. So, as an artist manager, you know, you've probably filtered through a lot of different artists, and you've probably had opportunity to work with multiple artists at this point due to all of the success and the experience that you've had thus far. So my question for you, and this is really from an artist perspective, when is the right time for an artist to seek management, to find somebody like you to elevate what they're doing?
This is my favorite question because I struggle when they were asking me what to put under my name for this. I was like, I don't know, because I don't like the manager word that much. Because like for the artist I work with right now, he's got like 6 of them, and and it's like at some point that's so unnecessary. Like 5 of them are most of the time not doing anything, and it goes back to that whole like you gotta package it, wrap it, make yourself look like what a major artist looks like. You're like, oh, I'm making music now, I'm trying to do this professionally. I need a manager, I need a PR person, I need a marketing guy. You don't. You really need to do most of that yourself. You need to get an understanding of it yourself first, because you don't know what that guy's doing, or if he's cheating you on whatever he's offering you or whatever. If you don't go run the ads yourself, if you don't book a show for yourself, if you don't do that groundwork stuff by yourself, then you're never really gonna get a concept for what you're paying for when somebody else is doing it. And then also, like, some artists are so on top of it and so like in their bag with the business side of thing that it's like, you got it. Like, for a good amount of time, make your money. You don't need some dude just coming around and giving you ideas that are worse than the ones you have.
Right.
But if you see a spot for a need, like I'm about to start helping out an artist named Young Wabo, and he called me the other day. He's one of my favorite artists. It's 2020, and he was like, when this album comes out, I'm realizing now there's like stuff that like I have a job and I have this album, I got shows all over the country. I'm genuinely trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to field these emails, take these calls, do all the stuff I'm supposed to do, in addition to keep everything else going.
Right.
That's where it makes sense to get a manager.
Agreed.
But until you hit that point, don't even worry about it, please. Like, get it, get the groundwork figured out, and you got it. But when the time comes for it, it's obvious, and you generally have that person in front of you too already, where it's like the obvious fix.
I love that too, because
it is like getting married.
It is. Is it?
Yeah. You end up in a relationship with a sometimes challenging personality. You love them. They make cool stuff, but
and divorce can be messy, right?
And even just like going and talking about ideas. Like just last week, I got into the craziest argument about why you should never drop on a Friday, and everybody in the room was against me, and I stood my ground, and I was like, "How dare you? No." I'm staying on this. That's crazy. We're dropping our first album. We're not dropping on the same day as Gunna. We're not doing it. We want people to listen to our album. And if we drop on a Tuesday, that's way more likely. Like, you got to be fully prepared to be the bad guy and the least liked person in the room at a given time, because everybody else is creative and just shooting out ideas, and you got to make them realistic.
Yeah, you got to be quality control, and sometimes you got to be that bad cop. I think part of what you said that's really interesting, and something I believe as well, is for you working with an artist that is prepared for a manager, that means they already got their hands dirty. They already have an understanding somewhat of the business and how they should move as an artist, and that just makes everybody's job easier, right? And that's the type of team you want to be in, because you're both pushing towards the same goal. You're both effective, you're both efficient, and you bring value. And to be in, again, something as difficult as the music industry, you want the best qualified people possible, and everybody to have that same alignment. So I hear you on that 100%. Okay, last question. Kind of a two-parter, but you don't have to go into detail too much. Sure. But I really just want your thoughts on this. The music industry is changing for a lot of different reasons. Be that technology, be that politics, be that people's interests, and where the market of attention is now. When we look at this current landscape, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges or issues that we need to overcome? And beyond that, what is your idyllic picture of the music industry in the future? Where do you see it going on the positive side?
Well, right now, the artists I'm working with right now, our big thing is, it's the first time I've been in a situation where we have the budget and the resources to do everything that we want to do. Like, sky is the limit, which is scary, because now there's all these choices. Whereas before it was like, what's the best thing we can do with the $10 that we have? But now it's, I have 5 options here, and now I got to make the right choice. And the big thing that he's focused on, since we're independent, is actually making money off of stuff. And that's not going to happen through streaming. And so we want people to buy physical music. I don't think for this, what we're going for, a vinyl makes sense. So I want to sell CDs, but I want to give a reason to buy a CD.
Right.
My car doesn't have a CD player in it.
Right.
So like, if I buy a CD from an artist, I don't have anywhere to play it. But I want it to be something that is the music. So when actual dollars and cents are purchased for it, we can use that to go towards like chart data. And then also make whole dollars and cents off the music instead of fractions of cents. And trying to find ways to incentivize people to buy the CD, even if they're not going to listen to it. Can I put a golden ticket in there that gets you an experience that only one person that buys the CD is going to get? And instead of viewing it as you're purchasing the CD, you're buying a raffle ticket, essentially.
I love that, yeah.
Like, coming up with ideas like that with how everything is set up is the only way that I see to make any sort of money off of the music itself.
Right.
But going forward, it'd be so cool if streaming came crashing down. Like, I don't care what it looks like, but just like, get me into whatever the next iteration is. Because I was like 15 when streaming took off.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're due for a change. And everybody's complaining about what's wrong with it. And I'm on board. I love the idea of everything being direct to consumer. Like, you buy directly from the artist's website. You go buy the digital track directly from the artist's website. You got $1. And just focusing more on you get it from the artist, but that's a real challenge to figure out because, like I say, I always try to think of if I'm the fan on the other side of this, not involved. If I go buy a digital version of a song off of an artist's website, I'm not up on the Spotify local files thing. I don't know how to get that into my playlist.
Right.
So it's like, I need something to facilitate that.
I think that's a general concern for a lot of artists right now. I have two quick answers for you. I'm just spitballing. Don't judge me. I say you go analog NFT. That's what the CD is. You just take back the power of the NFT, but it's a physical NFT.
Yeah,
this is what it is. And I think the other thought is, the future of music might exist on blockchain, where there's full transparency, where there is direct to consumer with your product, and there's a way to always track and identify where your music is, but not just that, but the data. Who's seeing it? Where is it going? How is it being used? Where are they watching it, etc. Blockchain has a lot of pros and cons, and obviously there's a lot of controversy around it. I got a bag of XRP, so I'm trying to get it moving. But I think there is a future there, potentially within music sales and how artists start to move in digital commerce and grow outside of the ecosystem of record labels, big tech, and distributors like Spotify. So yeah, there it is. Prosper Points.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren has a bunch more to share with you guys. But I just wanted to thank you, Liam. A round of applause for Liam. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. And maybe just quickly let these guys know where they can find your artists.
Do you want to see if anybody wants to ask any questions?
Oh, yeah, sure. You're cool to open for questions? Give us Wabo and JB's Instagram, though, just for people here so they can follow.
So, my name is JB on Instagram. My name is JABEE. Young Wabo is young_WABO. And then I'm currently working with Traffic Lee. He's an artist from here in Austin. It's just Traffic Lee on Instagram, and Organized Wealth Entertainment. That's the record label.
Perfect. Okay, Lauren has a microphone. She's going to come around to anybody who has a question. If you have a question for Liam on anything that he talked about, or just a question you'd like his informed answer on, raise your hand, and she can come over to you. Anybody
Give me a brave soul. Give me one.
Do that again. That'll get him. Do that voice.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm seeing your job title. You talked a lot about artist manager, but you didn't say much about events. How do your events tie into what you do?
So I also work at Tequila 512. And my job was just the retail associate. My job was to exist in that big yellow building off of Mopac. We don't sell tequila, so it was mostly my job to sit in there and tell people we don't sell tequila. It was a very good job for me to find a place where I can sit down, nothing is expected of me, and I can work on all the stuff I need for the artists I'm working with, and nobody cares. And then out of nowhere, I started talking too much about what I was doing outside of there, and they started using me for events and booking artists because we got a big, I mean not big, we got a little stage in the back of the store, and yeah, like a little event space, and we started doing daily happy hours, and the owners, who are musicians as well, said we need musicians to every single one of these happy hours, and we got a $0 budget, and I was like, okay, well, and then my boss Sue was like, well, we have to figure it out. What are we gonna do? And I was like, I mean, I got people, but we got to figure out a way to compensate them in some way, because I'm not about letting anybody perform for free. Like, you got to get something out of it. So I started leveraging, getting an artist to come do a happy hour or two means that they can come throw their own show at the store for free without having to pay for it. And so anyways, through that, I ended up throwing a lot of shows. I did one with West 22nd on Cinco Doce, 512. It's a big day for us. Nice. We did Young Wabo did our Yelp show for South by Southwest, and he also did the first ever happy hour. We got a band called Smooth Nature, Grace Sorensen, awesome. Bunch of incredible artists, all to come through just off of the love of the game, and figuring out how to make those events happen in a way where I wasn't screwing anybody over was a unique challenge and a lot of on-the-fly learning. But now people are asking me to do too much with this event stuff. But I'm learning on the fly. But it was a good lesson in understanding like artist partnerships with businesses and what all those can look like and how much room you really do have to negotiate on the artist side with a brand.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love that. Any other questions over here? I think this gentleman had his hand up.
No, he answered mine.
He answered a question. All right.
Anybody else? No? Are you sure?
Cool. Round of applause again for Liam. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
One more time.
Thank you. Yeah. And also, Liam, where can they find you on socials if they want to reach out?
Oh, yeah. I'm just liam.ervin on Instagram, and I don't got much on there, but I swear I'm there. I'm active. It's just one picture, but I'm there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Liam.